I think quality is so important, but I also think that there's a certain price point that I've kind of got to a point where I'm like, I don't really want to keep spending this much money to get a really good quality leather and beautiful bag. Surely there is other options out there which don't cost as much. And if vintage Coach is the answer to that, honestly, I'm open to that. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Jess. If you love shopping and handbag videos, please like and subscribe to my channel. So the last week or so, I've really been thinking a lot about Coach bags. And you know, when I get obsessed with things, I can't stop thinking about it. So I recently went into the Coach store and I tried on all these really cute shaped bags, and I didn't pull the trigger on them because I've bought so many bags this year already. I have a really nice selection of Hermes bags, which, you know, are very top quality, beautiful bags, and I found it hard to pull the trigger on a Coach bag only because, well, I didn't know if I would wear it, and I didn't know if the quality was really as good as Hermes either. That being said, I don't think one should completely disregard Coach because the quality is not as good as Hermes, because the fact is Coach bags are so much more of a friendlier price point. Even though something is better quality, doesn't really warrant the extreme price compared to something that is, you know, a lot friendlier in price and maybe not as good quality, but still really good quality, right? So that's why I've kind of been a little bit more open-minded about Coach, and I, in general, want to slow down on my handbag purchases. And I made a video a few days ago about why I wouldn't buy a Coach bag now, given I have so many bags. But if I had to start my handbag journey again without any bags, I really think that I would probably think twice before getting used to spending so much on handbags. And actually, I think I would actually be much happier if I just stuck to buying Coach bags, because the fact is the quality, even though it might not be as good as Hermes, it's still pretty good. If I do feel the urge to buy a handbag, maybe buy a Coach bag because it's a lot friendlier on the budget. I actually got a lot of comments about Coach on my last video, and one of them that really stood out to me was this one from Me You. You're gonna call me insane, but hear me out. Vintage Coach, like 80s and early 90s, is very similar quality to Hermes. I own many Hermes bags and items, and I once upon a time read a comment that had said that I laughed. I said there's no way vintage Coach could even come close to Hermes, so I bought a bag called the Willis from 1995. I was absolutely blown away by the leather and quality. I would definitely have to say vintage Coach comes very, very close to Hermes, especially in comparison to these houses. If someone really cares about quality, buying vintage Chanel and Vuitton are where it's at. I think that Chanel and Louis Vuitton were made better in the 80s and 90s for sure. When it comes to a brand like Hermes, I think the quality is still really great. And with Coach bags, well, I don't have much experience with Coach, but I did find one of my old bags that I bought about 10 years ago at a store called Retro Star in Melbourne, and it's a bag actually from the 90s. So I wanted to show it to you guys today and compare the quality of the leather compared to Hermes bags. And I don't know if you can really compare, because this bag I picked up for around $50 from a vintage shop from around 1997. So I know Me You, who commented, said that 80s and early 90s Coach is very comparable to Hermes quality. So I'm actually curious to know, guys, do you own 80s Coach? And if you also own Hermes bags, let me know if the quality is very similar, because this is a late 90s bag, so perhaps this is where Coach started to become not as good quality. I don't know. I have heard that Coach did slip down in quality over the past few years, but since they've changed creative director, it started to get really good again. Let's be honest here, guys. I am trying to spend less money and trying to tackle my shopping habits, but I'm still, at the end of the day, really like bags. So, I mean, if I feel the urge to shop and I buy an 80s Coach bag, I'm sure that will be much friendlier for my bank account as opposed to spending another $5,000 on a Hermes bag. And I'm actually really curious to try out, you know, maybe Coach from the 80s, just to see if it really is what people are saying, if it's really that good. So let me just share with you this bag. This one, I did some research on it, and the creed signifies that, well, actually, a lady called Ms. Melbourne on Instagram really helped me research this bag as well. So thank you so much for helping me research. According to this creed, it was made in April 1997, handcrafted in United States out of glove tanned cowhide leather. I looked up what glove tanned leather is, and it's basically a chrome dyed calf skin, which means that it doesn't have a lot of finish on the top of the leather. And I will say that when you're trying to authenticate a Coach bag, I'm not an expert by any means, but if it starts to feel a little bit plasticky with the vintage Coach, it could be not authentic. Also, have a look at the spelling on the creed. If there's anything misspelt, it might not be authentic. Just from me looking at pictures online, I've seen a few of this style of bag on Etsy as well and on eBay. So it was a style it came out in 1996. I think they made it for a few years. This one is from 1997. It's in the color periwinkle, and it's this like little bucket bag, which it has a little belt fastening at the top here, which you can actually do this and cinch it in like that. So it's a bit of a unique style. It has a little tag thingy there, and it actually has a strap. I just love the feel of the hardware is really nice. It actually feels quite substantial. I will say, like, comparing to modern day Louis Vuitton, I would say it feels better actually than Louis Vuitton. Sometimes Louis Vuitton feels a little bit cheap with the modern day. Comparing to Hermes, the hardware, I mean, it's about the same, to be honest. It doesn't feel, worse than Hermes hardware. It just feels like, it's this beautiful polished, I don't know what the material is, but it looks like it's aged quite well. In terms of the leather, it does feel very soft. I did put some aloe vera leather conditioner on it just to nourish it, and this bag was really well used. As you can see, it's really worn out on the sides here, and it's got some scuffs. It's got a pen mark. It's got pen marks on the inside. This belt part here is a little bit more of a smooth leather, whereas this is, to me, it looks like a bit like a goat skin, but apparently it's calf skin. Glove tanned calf skin. So comparing to Hermes quality, does it feel as good? I mean, this is a bag from the late 90s, so supposedly 80s Coach was the best and early 90s, so maybe this is a bad comparison for Hermes. I will say that the leather doesn't feel, as luxurious as Hermes, and the way that this particular bag has worn, it doesn't look like the best. If you look at the side here, it's like, it doesn't look like there was a layer on top. It looks like in between the crevices of the grain, it's like the dye is starting to separate or something. I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of like looks scuffed in a way. And it's also kind of aging. It's definitely discoloring this periwinkle color. I did clean it, but yeah, when I felt this leather, it felt very dry. And that's why I had to leather condition it just to bring it back to life a little bit. But it doesn't feel amazing. Like, it feels like nice leather, but it's, yeah. When you're talking about price point, this was, what, $50? I have seen similar bags for around $100 to $300 on the pre-love market in this style. I don't know. I don't know much about collectability of Coach bags. Ms. Melbourne said that periwinkle is a very desirable color, so maybe some Coach collector would buy this from me for like $150 or something. I'm not sure. Given the condition it's in, it's not the best condition, as you can see. Now, the way you can tell if a bag is vintage also is that they used to do this raw interior like this, and you can see it's just suede on the inside, and then that's the creed there. And yeah, it's just like a bucket bag. Sorry, I just got it stuffed, but it's just like a bucket bag. And the way it's been finished, it's got like, it's just cut here, and then they've obviously, you can see they've interfaced that there, and they've stitched it down. It's it's not hand stitched. You can see it's machine stitched bag, and some of the finishing on the bag, like here it's a little bit sloppy, but some of the threads kind of came loose a little bit. But I will say it's pretty straight. It's not all wonky. The way they've lacquered it as well, it's pretty fine edge paint. So it's not like super thick and lumpy, which is sometimes I see them do that at Louis Vuitton. It's really scrappy lacquer. Even at Fendi, sometimes they don't look like they've painted the edges very well. Like they do really thick and wonky, but this is done quite finely. Belt bit, yeah, they've got like this magnet here. Something USA. In terms of style, I think this bag is pretty timeless. I mean, it's just a bucket bag. It does give me like 90s vibe. I think it's like the big buckle on the front is very 90s, and then yeah, just these details. Also the color, I don't know, periwinkle blue. What era is that from? Not sure, but it's a cute color. Yeah, I don't know guys. I don't know if I would wear this a lot. Like maybe if I was going to a concert, I'd probably wear it. Just wanted to update you a little bit on my Coach bag. I have been wearing it all today and I'm absolutely bloody loving it. Didn't think that I would pick it up and wear it, but I just had to walk to the shops and I didn't really want to wear my Hermes bag because I was going to be walking a long way. It's super lightweight. I did some more research on this bag and apparently it was a line of bags that were designed to be super lightweight and usable. So the leather is lighter than other previous Coach leathers. I did an authentication check as well. I joined a Coach Facebook group and they verified that my bag was real, so that was a good little outcome there. And this bag in particular, the leather, this line of bags, apparently the leather doesn't wear that well because yeah, they came in a lot of cute candy colors like green, and there was also like a lilac color which was really pretty, and I imagine that this bag would have been more of a purpley tone previously, but it's faded to like this washed out blue tone, which honestly it actually looks really cool with my jeans because I'm wearing like jeans today and it looks, I don't know, it just goes with jeans really well. So I don't know, honestly, if I would buy more Coach bags, but if it was for the right price, maybe I would, just as a throw around bag. I mean, Coach is something I'm still learning, and I like this bag, guys. Like, it's not as good quality as Hermes, but it is very practical, and it actually is very comfortable to wear. So, and the design is cool. Like, I think it looks awesome. Now, comparing to an Hermes bag, a simple bucket, this is a completely different leather. I feel like this bag, because it's like that raw leather feel, I could probably compare it to a Picotin or an Evelyn because they're also raw. Like they have this inside which is a suede, and they're similar. Like they're just very simple bags. The leather on this one, obviously it has a lot better color saturation. You can see that. It's completely pigmented through the leather. Whereas this, I don't know why, it just didn't, it's kind of like as time goes by it's faded. This one, so it's from 1997. I do have a bag, so I do have some vintage Hermes bags. This is from the year 2000, so 3 years later. And the leather on this, it does have, I mean, it's just aged better. I know that the previous owner probably didn't wear this as much as that bucket there, but Hermes leather doesn't do that weird drying thing. I don't know what it is. I don't know how they dye it. This one is Togo leather, so it's a calf leather as well. It has a really, like, amazing veining through it. The leather is extremely soft and, like, pudgy. You can feel it. Obviously, the finishing is a little bit more, it's a little bit more advanced, like the hardware. It just has a bit more intricacy in it. It's just the zipper detail. Even the edge paint, it's just a bit of a difference. It obviously just feels like better quality, but the thing is, guys, is it really worth how much more it costs? Like, this was $50. I can wear this and enjoy this, whereas I bought this pre-loved for $1,300. That was actually a really good deal, but is it worth on the pre-love market? I mean, I could buy a vintage Coach for, yeah, like $200. Is that worth as much? Like, is a Hermes bag quality really warrant spending so much more than if you can just buy a Coach bag that is, like, still quite good quality? That late 90s bag that I have, I don't know if it's actually that, like, honestly, I don't think it's as good as Hermes quality, but I'm still yet to test out 80s bags. If I try an 80s bag, maybe it will be like blow me away a little bit more. This one in particular, it's okay. If you're comparing to like a raw thing, like this leather, you can see the color saturation is just, it has like the leather looks just so much more luxurious to feel, and that to me is what drew me to Hermes. Definitely the way that they dye their leather and the way that the leather looks and just the fine details of the finishes. So yeah, even the edge paint does look better. The inside, you can see it's kind of discolored over time. I see that commonly happen sometimes with the inside, but yeah, it is actually fluffier for some reason. So I think that Hermes, they probably just use better quality leather, but that's probably a given, like given that the price is so much more expensive. This one, it was about 2,400 Australian dollars. I picked it up pre-loved, but comparing to $50, I mean, that's a giant markup, right? But I think that's what draws me to Hermes. It's just the feel of the leather. So I do want to look more into Coach and see if I can find bags older that had exceptional leather, because I think that would actually, for me, give me a similar feeling to Hermes, and it would actually scratch that itch of buying a really good quality bag. Although I have this one, it doesn't give me the same Hermes feeling. Maybe in terms of the design, it's a pretty classic design. I love the color. I don't like the way that it's worn here. I think that kind of makes it look not as nice. I know that you can buy beat up Birkins and that sort of thing, but even with those, they still have this weird like luster to them, or kind of interesting, like they look expensive, right? Whereas this, the way it's worn, it just looks a bit tired. So maybe there's a way I can rejuvenate the leather and kind of get the color back into it, because I really feel like the color has faded in not a really great way. But let me know, guys, because I mean, I just want to have an open conversation about this. Like, I'm actually quite new to vintage Coach. Obviously, I'm just researching it this morning. So if there's a vintage Coach style that you'd recommend, let me know. I'll look into it, because I'm into bags, guys, and I think quality is so important. But I also think that there's a certain price point that I've kind of got to a point where I'm like, I don't really want to keep spending this much money to get a really good quality leather and beautiful bag. Surely there is other options out there which don't cost as much. And if vintage Coach is the answer to that, honestly, I'm open to that. So yeah, let me know, guys. Do you collect vintage Coach? And would you say you've come across a bag that is exceptional quality that I should try and find? Yeah, let me know. Obviously, I know Coach is probably not as popular on YouTube. I know a lot more people look at Louis Vuitton and even Hermes, but look, I just want to find good quality bags that last and look amazing for many years. And yeah, anyways, I just wanted to blab on about that today. So thanks for watching my video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys on my next one.